Well, welcome back, everybody. You are here with Bright Lights and our continued Bubble Festival Flipside Camp. My name is Renee, and I'm the Education Coordinator for Bright Lights. I'll be serving as your host, and my friends Lori and Megan will also be helping with hosting duties. I want to cover a few housekeeping details before we get started, and then I will turn this over to Miss Angela. Because we are in a webinar format, remember that we can't see your picture or hear you, but don't worry, that's how it's set up. If you want to ask questions, you just want to use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen. Just type your question or your comment in the box and we will see it. And then we can ask Miss Angela the question or respond to you via that chat box. I also want to remind you that we are recording this session and we will have a link on our YouTube channel to this Flipside camp as well as others posted in about a week so that you can watch it again and do the activities, or you can share it with someone new. And finally, I'd like to thank Black Hills Energy for their generous sponsorship of this Flipside camp and for their continued support of Bright Lights. And with that, I'm going to turn this back to Miss Angela so that we can learn some more about being some bubble scientists. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Bubblists. I'm so excited that you came back today. And if you missed yesterday, the first few minutes, we're going to recap of what we did yesterday. I hope all of you had fun playing with bubbles yesterday. Maybe type down some of the things that you did with your bubbles yesterday, or you can have your parents or your family members take pictures of you with doing your bubbles, and you can paste it to the Bright Lights Facebook page. I would love to check those out. How fun will that be? Well, we're going to review today. We're going to start and talk about again what a bubble is. Who remembers what a bubble is? Can you tell somebody that's sitting at your house? Can you tell them what a bubble is? I'm going to count to 5 and you tell them really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lori, can you tell us what a bubble is?
It's air surrounded by liquid.
It is a bubble is air trapped inside liquid. And Lori, do you remember why a bubble pops? Oh, my friend Lori went away, but that's okay. Do you remember why a bubble pops? Can you tell somebody next to you? And I'm going to check back with you and I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can
And
everybody?
Miss Angela, I remember.
Oh, do you remember, Lori? Oh, good. I'm so glad you're back. Why do you remember why a bubble pops, Lori?
Does it dry out?
Yes, that's exactly it. It dries out. So it can dry out from the air floating around in the air, or it can dry out from us putting our dry finger or our dry hand in it. It can dry out and then it'll pop. Well, we're going to finish reading our book that we started yesterday, and then we're going to do an science experiment using bubbles. Remember, we were reading Pop, a book about bubbles. Oh, I love this page. Look how pretty that is. Look at those bubbles and look how they shine. The sun's reflecting off of them. If a bubble touches something like your hand or another bubble, it may have a flat side. Or the wind may push a bubble and change its shape. But yesterday we talked about that a bubble is always, finish my sentence, always round. You're right. A bubble is always round. And let's see if you remember. Do you remember why a bubble is always round? If you don't, I'll read and I'll tell you. But when a bubble is quietly floating in the air by itself, it is always round. The air inside the bubble pushes out against the silk skin. It doesn't push hard in one place or another. It pushes evenly in every direction. Do you remember we did that activity where we pushed evenly? Can you do that again? Push evenly out. So you're the air inside the bubble. There's bubble solution all around you, and you're pushing out evenly. So that's why you're always round. Oh, look at that big giant bubble. If your hands are dry and you touch the bubble, they pop. We know that. Anything that pokes them will make a hole in the soap skin. Whoosh. and the air is going to rush it out. Even if you don't touch bubbles, they still pop. Do you remember why? You should. They dry out. The soap skin shrinks, and soon they can't hold the air inside of them, so they pop. Yesterday we had some of those popping in our face. Oh, this is where we're getting to our science experiment. There are other kinds of bubbles too. The next time you drink soda, look carefully at the bottom of your glass. When you see tiny bubbles forming, you can watch them get bigger and bigger. Oh, I should have brought out a can of pop and we could have watched that. Finally, they get so big that they start to float up through the soda higher and higher, and then they pop. Oh, now here's where we're getting into our experiment. We're going to read about it, then we're going to do it, okay? You can also make bubbles with the straw. Put one end of the straw in a glass or juice and blow. Bubbles will flow through the liquid and pop. The water and juice aren't sticky like soap solution, so the bubbles might pop right away. How many of you do this when you're drinking water or juice and you start to blow bubbles and your mom says, "Stop that, you're gonna make a mess"? I was that mom. I would always tell my kids when they were little not to do that. They're gonna make a mess. Oh, here, look. Now she has water in one glass and she has milk in another glass. And look how and she's blowing both of them, and look how the bubbles are different. Why do you think those bubbles are different? Let's take a second and think about that. I don't know. Let's read and see why they're different. Milk is stickier than water. If you blow bubbles with a straw in a glass of milk, they will stay at the top of the glass for a while. They won't go through the air like soap bubbles. The milk isn't sticky enough for that. But milk bubbles look like soap bubbles. Wherever they aren't touching the glass or each other, they will be round. So look, at the very top of those bubbles, they're round. But the sides, where they're touching other bubbles, they're flat. We kind of noticed that yesterday. Oh, and you can make tiny bubbles. You can make big bubbles. You can make bubbles that you can step inside. And you can blow one bubble or stream, or whole stream of bubbles. You can't make square bubbles. Bubbles are always round. And then at the back of the book, it gives me an experiment to do, and it gives me another recipe. I like this book. And there are other books. This is a good book or a good series, because if you have questions about other things, they have other books that you can check it out. So this one was Pop, a book about bubbles. Okay, now we're going to do an experiment. I have a glass of water. And I'm going to move my camera down a little bit so you can see. Can you see that? And maybe if I pull that, there. And then I have a glass of milk. Okay, so you have two glasses. And first I'll do one at a time. Or here, should we try and do both? You want me to try and do both? I'll try and do both. So what I want you to do is I want you to observe. That means you're going to be looking at both bubbles. And then we're going to compare them. We're going to talk about what was the same, what was maybe different. All right, here we go. Ready?
Oh, there she goes. She's still blowing her bubbles.
You can't, they're not coming up like I want them to. I wonder if my glass is too big. Because I want my bubbles to look like the girl's bubble in the book. So I'm just going to do one at a time. Maybe I don't have enough hot air.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, now you can start to think that's very big. Yeah. But so now maybe when you're eating your lunch today, you can try this experiment. But check with the grown-up at your house to make sure it's okay. Because like I said, grown-ups don't like us to make messes. So, did you notice my bubbles? Like the bubbles in the water, it's almost like a rolling bubble. Like, oh, here's a good comparison. Like if you're making spaghetti at your house and your moms are grown up, the moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, whoever's making your dinner, they have to boil water to to cook the noodles. And if you look in those pots, but you be really careful because you don't want to get hurt. But the water will roll. It's like a boil. It pops up and it comes up and down. Let's try to show that again. See, it's like I'm making it boil. And remember,
Angela, there was.
Oh, go ahead, Lori. I'm sorry.
No, we had a really interesting question. Why don't you finish that and then we'll ask.
Oh, okay. And remember, these bubbles don't stick together because the water's not sticky. Or even if you did it in juice, it's not sticky. Now let's look at our milk bubbles. I don't know if you can tell, but they are kind of sticking together. I think I should have had a smaller glass for this example. I'm trying to get so they can see. So you're just going to have to do this experiment at your house. And so then you're going to compare them. Lori, what was the question?
Oh, this was interesting. Anna asks, do you think that the rain would pop the bubble or not?
Ooh, Anna, that is such a good example. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe what a good question that is. You know what, Anna? I don't really know. That is such a good question. You've stumped Bubble Angela. I don't know. But you know what? You could try. You could, because you probably wouldn't be out in the rain blowing bubbles, but what if you used a squirt bottle and blew bubbles and then tried squirting them with the water and see if that would work. Like just have a little spray bottle and spray the bubble.
See what it would do, because you know the water's wet, so you would think that maybe it wouldn't pop them, but maybe the force would.
No, you know what, Lori? Anna, let's try that experiment. Lori, I have a spray bottle in my kitchen. I'm gonna run and get it. So you entertain the children.
Yes.
2 seconds.
I will. Gotcha. So yesterday when we were making things with our wires and making shapes, I made a heart, and I really wanted it to make a heart shape bubble. But since bubbles are always round,
I'm back.
oh, there she is.
I'm back. Okay, Anna, we're gonna try your idea.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, wait, I didn't close my door.
Okay, close the door.
Okay, I love when kids ask questions and I don't know the answer, because then we got to figure it out together. Okay, here we go. So let's see, I'm going to blow these really good bubbles. Oh, I'm out of breath. That was a big run. Here we go.
Oh.
Huh. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I see that you're kind of the bubbles that are clinging to the plastic. You're spraying those. Now, that would be a very fine rain, wouldn't it? Like the spray.
Oh, there's a bubble right there. Can you see it? Ooh, it's not popping.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You know what, Anna? I don't think it would, because I'm blowing, or I'm squirting my bubbles, and they are not popping. I don't know if you can see, it's on my hand.
Yeah.
It moves it.
Oh.
Anna, does that I hope that answers your question, Anna. That was the best question. That was such a good question. And yesterday,
we had
oh, go ahead.
And we also have a comment that Addison says, if you blow in your solution, it is crazy.
Addison, she says that. She says that's crazy. Should we try it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get mine. I'm ready.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Okay. I think there's, oh my goodness, there you go.
See, that's what I wanted the milk to do. Maybe I didn't have sticky milk. I don't know. That's what I wanted my milk to do. Addison, will you remember this? Because we're going to do this in a little bit. When we do this, we're going to use our art. So hold on to that thought, Addison. But
Yeah,
Lori,
that was fun.
somebody asked us a question about using why you use dish soap. And I was thinking about that yesterday. And I also thought, like, what a great experiment. You could use different kinds of soap. Like you could try shampoo. You could try bubble. What's that stuff when you put in your bubble bath to make bubbles? Bubble soap.
Yeah, bubble soap.
Mr. Bubble.
Or maybe.
When my kids were little, we would put Mr. Bubble in there sometimes.
Oh,
Try
yes.
those different things and see what makes the best bubbles. That's something. If you don't know something, or if you want to figure it out, you do experiments. You try and you figure it out. That's what you can try. I can't remember who asked that question yesterday. That was a really good question.
That was a good one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just spelled a little bubble solution. Luckily not on my computer. Okay, I'm gonna pour some bubble solution in a small container because we're gonna make a bubble wand. We're gonna make one of our first bubble wands today. So we're gonna need 2 straws. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna cut my straws in half. So if you're younger, this is something you could have a grown-up help you with. Or if you're a big kid, you can do it yourself. Then I'm gonna I have some cotton string, cotton yarn. But if you don't have cotton, use whatever you have at your house. And this is the tricky part. You're gonna bead it through. So you're gonna pretend like almost like these are your beads, and you're gonna bead it through. And if you need help, that's why you have grown-ups at your house. Okay, so you're gonna bead all 4. And if you want, you could even put a 5th one on here, because that would make a different shape. But when we blow the bubble, it's still gonna be round. Okay.
Okay.
You getting yours on there, Lori?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, it is kind of. Okay.
My yarn's a little wiggly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Try
Oh, there we go.
ends together and rolling them together. That might help.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
And I have more string than what I need, so I'm going to put that away. So this is what I have. Do you have this part, Lori? I'll wait for you.
You go right ahead. I'm a little behind you, but you just go right ahead.
We'll go ahead then. So, and then I'm going to tie it together. And this is something else that you may or may not be able to do, but just don't get mad. Don't get frustrated. Just have a grown-up help you. And then, so your bubble wand can look like this. It can look like a diamond. It can look like a triangle. And then you're going to put it in the solution. Get it all in there. Move my chair.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
And
Yeah.
pull it out. And oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it's so windy again today. I can just set it up. Oh, but it's not. Or Lori, I was even thinking, like, if you don't even have string, you could even use pipe cleaners.
Yeah, you sure could.
Yeah.
I think I will do that while I'm struggling with the string. So you have kind of a square, don't you?
Yeah, I made mine a square. If you want to make a triangle, make a triangle. Or you could even make a hexagon.
Yeah, I kind of made a rhombus, I think, but I'll have to fix that up. Okay.
I'm not my bubbles aren't. And sometimes Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Oh, oh,
So, I get so excited when I make bubble.
oh no, me too. Oh, that
Okay,
was
it's just blowing right, right, big ones.
woo. Yesterday when I was out here blowing bubbles in the morning, one of my neighbors came by and said, "What were you doing?"
I had some neighbors wondering what I was doing too.
So I just said, "Oh, I'm playing with bubbles with all my bubble friends." There. Okay. Everybody got it? Did we get that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a fun bubble wand. And like I said, you can use whatever tools you have at your house. If you have straws and your mom says, oh, you can only use one straw, just cut it in lots of little pieces and see what you make. And did you get that, Lori?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ready for the next bubble wand? This one is my all-time favorite bubble wand. And
Okay.
when you see the bubbles that come out of this bubble wand, you are gonna love it too. This I have just an old Gatorade bottle, and all I did is I cut the bottom off. Something that you'll need the grown-up to do at your house. But if you don't have a Gatorade bottle, water bottles work. If you have, ooh, bird flying close. If you have like an old milk bottle, just cut the bottom off. Just like a plastic container that has an opening. Then I'm going to use a sock, one of my socks, and it's a clean sock, and I'm just going to put it on there. I'm just going to put it like that. But if your mom says, no, I don't want you to use one of your socks, and you have an old t-shirt, just cut a square and put it over the opening. That's all you got to do. Then you're going to put a rubber band, and I like to wrap it around a couple times so it stays on there, and then you can pull the sock so it's tight. Okay. How you doing, Lori? I'm gonna wait for you.
I'm good. No, you keep going. I'm almost there.
Okay. Then you're gonna.
Well, here, wait. Remind me. I have my sock.
Yep.
And I have my bottle with the bottom cut off.
Uh-huh. And then you're gonna put your sock on the bottom, or on the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, got it.
So the big opening is covered with the sock.
Okay. This is hilarious. You're gonna think, what is she doing? Okay.
Then,
there we go.
These are the best bubbles ever. I love them.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, then you're going to put the sock end into the bubble solution.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
This one's kind of messy, but that's okay.
Okay.
But so
Okay.
this one, you don't need to dip it in the solution very much because the water or the bubble solution is soaking in to the sock. Are you ready for this? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Aren't those beautiful?
Okay, I'm trying it.
I love how when the sun reflects off them, they look like diamonds. I'm gonna move my camera a little bit. So they look like diamonds and they last forever and they float. And when you and your friends are out doing this and there's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of you out there blowing, your yard is gonna look like a field of diamonds. That's what I love. They remind me of diamonds. Aren't these so fun?
These are the best. I never knew you could do this. I'm so happy.
Yes, and they're called bubble snakes. Like, I would never call something this beautiful a snake. Sorry if anybody who likes snakes.
That is tremendous. It's a whole bunch of tiny ones, right?
And oh yeah, and look at them, because remember when I was trying to make the milk bubbles, and I wanted you to be able to look at the sides of all of them, how
yeah.
touching. You get like there's the round bubble, and all the round bubbles when they touch, their sides are flat. That's what these are. And they last forever. Lori, are you noticing that they're in your yard forever?
Yes, and they're also like, they're great.
Oh, be careful. I got a little bit of soap in my mouth, but that's okay. That's okay. Just don't tilt the bottle back.
I do notice that one little tiny dip gives you a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, this is, you don't need a lot of soap for this one.
And it works no matter what.
Yes.
I'm trying to see how long I can make my snake.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, the wind blows it away.
You see how long that is? Did you see how long that was?
You got a really long one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Good. Oh, those are my faves. Now,
Yeah,
so
I see why.
does anybody any bubble scientists out there? Do you guys have a favorite bubble wand that we've done so far? Maybe type that in the comment. I would love to hear what your favorite one was. Okay, I have two more things I'm going to show you. And one of them I wasn't planning on doing till I love Pinterest, get lots of ideas on Pinterest, and I saw this on Pinterest and I thought, how creepy, appropriate, weird is this that I'm finding this today? But we are going to make a giant bubble wand. Now, they had fancy stuff. It's a pandemic. I don't go to the store unless I absolutely have to. So I kind of thought, what do I have at my house? And that's what I'm going to use. So, and this is what I made, but I'm going to show you how I made it. You're going to just need 2 sticks. 2 sticks is all you need. Then you're going to need two more pieces of that string. You're going to need a short one and a long one. I'm going to use the long one first. I'm going to tie one end to one end of my stick. I should have told you about this yesterday, Lori, and you could have gotten the stuff, but.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm with you. I'm right along with you.
Okay. Then I'm going to tie that end. Then, because I'm going to need something to weigh it down, and on the Pinterest site, they suggested a washer, and that's just like a round disc, but I didn't have any, or I wasn't sure where they were at my house. So I had some round beads. So I'm just going to use some beads. And I'm using a couple of them. So it'll make sure it weighs it down.
Okay.
Then I'm going to tie this end to the other string. And remember, this is the long piece of string. This is the long one. Okay. And if you didn't have sticks in your yard, you could use straws, pencils, anything. We always have lots of sticks in our yard. Then I'm going to take this. So this is what I have so far. This is what I have so far. So then I'm going to take a piece of string and I'm going to tie it to the other side, still at the top of the string. And if you, like, once again, if you have trouble with knots, ask the grown-up at your house or ask an older brother or sister, because sometimes knots are tricky for us. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's even taken me a while. Okay, then when you get this all tied, I'm gonna tilt this back a little bit. Now this, but I'm gonna dip it in here, dipping it all in the solution. Okay. And I don't know if this is gonna work. Hopefully it works. And I'm gonna pull it out of the solution.
Oh.
Well, let's try again. I'm gonna dip it in the bigger one. See if that works. Oh,
Maybe it won't get tangled then.
Oh,
there you go.
I hope you saw that.
It was so close.
It's so close. Here we go. Here comes. I think it's operator error. What I'm
Oh,
trying to start getting caught. So let me try again. So dip it in very carefully. And I'm going to lift it out very carefully. Now, bubble scientists, sometimes experiments work and sometimes they don't. Here we go. I'm going to try one more time. I don't know. Here we go.
while you're doing that, Angela, we had a question.
Oh, there.
Woo!
Maybe it's too windy.
We had a question. It might be too windy. We had a friend ask why we have to make our hands wet.
Well, because remember, the bubble is going to pop. Bubble pops when it gets dry. And if our hands are not wet, the bubbles are going to pop.
I just keep making the diamond ones.
Well, now at home, I want you to try this, and I want you to make it work. And if you make it work, I want you to post it on the Facebook page and post pictures of you making those big giant bubbles. Okay, and I think I'm even going to try later too. Maybe it's too windy, but that's what I love about science and bubbles. You try an experiment, doesn't work, try again. Figure out why it wasn't working. I'm going to think about that. If maybe you can improve the wand that I just made. So we're going to do one more thing. This is the best. You're going to we're going to paint with bubbles. We're going to paint with some bubbles. Just because I don't want my cups to spill, you're going to need some cups of bubble solution.
Oh.
Okay. And I think I'm just going to use 4 cups. 4 colors. Okay. Then I'm going to use food coloring. This is where you're
Could you move your camera down? Angela, could you move your camera down just a little bit?
Yes. I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me that. I forgot.
No.
Okay. And I'm going to want some straws. Okay. Now this is where you're going to need a grown-up because, and I say that because you're going to use food coloring, and if you spill food coloring on yourself, it's not good. It's a mess. And I'm just putting some squirts in there. There we go. I'm going to use some yellow.
We have a friend, Sherry, who says we like the bottle bubbles the best.
Yes, I agree with Sherry. Those are my favorite.
I just didn't even know you could do that. I wondered when you had a sock on the supply list, I thought, why do we need a little sock?
What are you going to do with a sock? And what a great way to use those socks that, there's always a sock that is missing from the dryer. You take socks out.
Yep. This
Every time. Okay. And I've seen other recipes for painting with bubbles where you put like powdered paint in there, but I think food coloring works just as good. And powdered paint, I think, is kind of expensive, so I just use food coloring. And if you want just a few drops in there, you want lots of drops, you can mix colors. So now, and this is where, and I forgot to kind of mention this yesterday, that when you're using like a straw to make bubbles, be careful that you don't accidentally suck it up. Otherwise, you're going to get a mouthful of soap, and that's icky gross. Okay, so we have our 4 cups. I just chose to use 4 colors. And I have my bubble solution in my glass. And I have a piece of paper. I'm using cardstock paper, but if you don't have cardstock paper at your house, use regular paper, use construction paper, use whatever you have at your house. You don't have to go buy anything special. And we're gonna blow these bubbles. I think it was Addison that said when you blow in the solution, like, it makes really cool bubbles. So we're gonna make those cool bubbles, Addison, and we're gonna want them to come up out of the glass. And then we're gonna very carefully take our straw out. I'm gonna take these straws out. And then we're gonna set our paper on top of the bubbles, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna take my straw out, and then I'm gonna put my paper on top. And you can see, then those bubbles, as they dry out, they're gonna pop. And then you'll see the bubbles on the paper. Can you kind of see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do blue now. Oh, I got some on my nose. And I do a little green. And then you just keep going.
Oh, Angela.
Did you drink the solution, Lori?
No, but my solution was blue, and then all I had was orange food coloring, and it made like this gunky zombie green. It's crazy. So ugly.
Oh no.
But I did get some of my paper. That's cool.
And then where, I don't know if you can see this, but where the blue and the yellow are mixing. I don't know if you can see that. Try and get a little closer. See the pretty designs? And then we've done, when I taught this in class, we've used pie plates that are flatter. And so it covers more of the paper.
Andrea says that you can do this at the local pottery painting place. We have a bubble painted bowl.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Isn't that the coolest?
That is so cool.
Oh, they really do go crazy.
They do. Oh, some of my bubbles, my red is getting mixed in with my yellow.
All these things are good outdoor activities, aren't they,
Yeah.
Angela?
They are perfect for outside. Okay. Look. Hold it up. See. But if you want your colors to be more vibrant, more stand out, be brighter, just put more food coloring in there.
That's neat.
Does anyone have any questions so far or any comments? I hope you had fun with me and my bubbles and Miss Lori. I've had so much fun. Bubbles is one of my favorite things to do in the summer. So I'm so glad I got to do this.
I didn't know how much I love bubbles till I got to be with you, Angela.
Right? Okay. Well, thank you so much. So today, your assignment is to try my big bubble wand. I want it to work. So I think I'm going to keep trying it, see if I can get it to work. You can keep trying. I want you to try that today. I want you to use your snake bubble wand and make snake bubbles, or like I like to call them, diamond bubbles, or paint. Whatever bubble activity you do, please post to the Bright Lights Facebook page. I've had so much fun with you today. Have a great rest of your summer and continue to try out the rest of the Bright Lights classes this summer online on Flipside. And hopefully next summer I will see you at Holmes Elementary for Bright Lights. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Angela and Miss Lori, for sharing their bubble. Gosh, there's so many things that you guys learned to do today. And I agree with Miss Lori. I had no idea bubbles could be so much fun. So remember to join us again tomorrow. We will be back here again at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, we are going to learn a little bit about Laura Ingalls Wilder, who you might know from Little House on the Prairie. We have a teacher joining us who has lots of information to share about Laura Ingalls, as well as an activity to make a rag doll. So make sure you go to our website, look for that camp information, and then you can gather your supplies so that you can participate tomorrow while we do that. We will see you again. Hope that you had fun, and make sure that you post those pictures on our Facebook page if you do some fun paintings. Until we see you tomorrow, bye.